Frida Kahlo is an incredible artist, and she's one of the most famous, if not the most famous, and definitely the most high-fetching female artists in the world. And Frida lived with disability. Her disability was always explicit in her work, but we very rarely remember her as a disabled artist. We don't think about her in that way. So this is a bit of a reclaiming of her as a disabled artist, and is very much aimed to be a celebration of her life and acknowledging the legacy and the mark that she made on the world. The idea for this project grew out of a 2-week residency that I had as an associate artist with Dance 4, who were the producers for Falling in Love with Frida. I had 2 weeks to think, to find, to research, to make discoveries about her. And I went out for dinner with another artist and was kind of talking to her about the project, completely animated, and she just said to me, "It sounds like you're falling in love." And that's where I began my love affair with Frida, I suppose. In my residency that I had towards the end of last year, I decided to invite 2 other dancers to come and be with me, just to try out some ideas. So we just had 2 days together. But it was after those 2 days that I just thought, I don't want to do this piece as a solo piece. I want these performers particularly to be in the piece with me. So it's an all-female cast, and how people read the other 2 performers is really interesting, because people kind of think, am I trying to be Frida? Are they my imaginary friends? What's their role in it all? And I try not to be too explicit about what they are, that we are just 3 women on stage telling a love story about Frida Kahlo. A big part of my initial 2-week residency back in 2012, I did lots of writing. And I was never really sure what would come of that, but I wrote something every day, and I wrote about what the process was and what was being revealed to me about me in response to Frida, but also about love and about life and about being vulnerable and fragile and all those sorts of things. And in 2014, I've been working with a text advisor called Luke Pell. There are these pockets of poetic text, kind of blended with much more realistic storytelling about things in my life or things that Frida has said. And it's very important to know that this is my version of Frida. Just as you do when you fall in love with someone, you tell people the bits that you want them to know about that person. People have asked, are those stories real? Like, are they really your stories? And could someone else be you in the piece? This is not just a random script. This is very much a blending, interweaving of Frida and me, about looking at the similarities, the differences, the things that Frida makes me or allows me to do that I wouldn't do naturally. One of the things that I say in the piece is that Frida makes me want to be braver, and this piece for me is very much that. It was about me being vulnerable, being honest, inviting people in to have a conversation, because that's what she did. She completely exposed all of her life. She makes me want to be braver, and that was very much a very clear aim of this piece. I had the complete pleasure of going to Mexico, supported by Creative Scotland, to visit her house, to see as much of her work as I could in real life rather than just looking at it in pictures. And to go to Mexico so informed the piece, to just be in the land that she came from and to have a sense of what life in Mexico City is like, has felt really important to the process. There has been a lot of work made about Frida, and a lot of it has been about the pain. There has been less made about the joy or the passion or the sex or the love. When I was in Mexico, I started to ask people, what are the really important things that I should talk about? And people said to me, you have to tell your version of Frida. And You have to talk about the contradiction of her life and the duality of who she was. And don't tell the story that everyone tells. And I hope that I've done that in telling my version of Frida.